Hello, everybody. Yes, Maynard in Texas. I am back from my trip to Camden, Tennessee. And what's up, Vaughn? And a wonderful time was had. I only went to the first day. I didn't go to the second day. So I didn't see Dr. Ken Berry and a couple others I really want to see there. But I was too busy. It was a long drive. And whew, man. But it's fun. And I was too busy working on my book in the morning. And by the time I lift my head up, I was like, oh man, I just got to go home because I miss my pups, my family too. And then my hot tea, which I'm drinking now. And I just like being home. I like being home. Hello, Pablo. Come home and Pablo is a chunky dog. Yes, Pablo, you got to go on a low carb diet. That's for sure. Harry, what's up, man? What's going on, Harry? Evening. Uncle Nene. Who the hell is that? Don't know any Uncle Nene's on here, but appreciate you being here. John from Florida is in the house. Right on, right on. All right, so I'm going to post a video tomorrow because when I'm driving, I get the chance to just ramble. It's fun, you know what I'm saying? And I'll post a video on whether or not to do Roth conversions, but I do want to talk about that here because I do think I bet. Let's take a bet. What do you all think the market's going to do tomorrow? Put one for up. Put one for up, and two for down. Two for down. I think the market is going to take off tomorrow big time. I think it's going to start in the morning. Hey, Chuck. I think it's going to start down, and then I think it's going to go Crystal Hastings. Hey, what's up, Crystal? Hey, right on. Hi from Georgia. All right. Now what did we say? One for up, two for down. Mike is camping on a chilly beach in Connecticut. So it looks like we got a mix. Looks like we got a bunch of mixed ones here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. West Virginia in the house. Indianapolis, right on. 2, 2. All right, looks like more twos. Keep posting there. And I don't know what the future. I don't care. I haven't looked. It doesn't. The futures don't mean anything. I don't know, but it'd be interesting. I think it's going to go up. I think it will start pretty negative, then it's going to come back up, and it could be a dead cat bounce. I have no idea. But what I was trying to do this video, and I'm going to post it tomorrow. Hey Marie, yeah, 100%. That's the way you look at it. That's the way you look at it. Augured in. Georgia Tech beat Pitt last night, everybody, at Pittsburgh. They fired their coach and they won. Pop, would you make up your mind? Good night. All right, hold on a second. Oh, yes, you're a cute baby. Oh, Pop wants to say hello. Oh, yeah, he wants to come on over. You see, he said, I want to come over, Dad. I want some screen time. Hi. Hi. Yeah, look at that dog. Uh-oh, there's the other guy. There's the other one coming in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's kind of nasty, Finney. All right, that's, yeah. Me Too is going to get on you, Finney, for sniffing Pablo's butt without permission. Futures are down, says Maina. All right. I bet that's what happens. I bet we go down a little bit. We'll see. I mean, that's the issue. Is like when hey Brian, I did a video about the lady who said Denise. She's like, she said, what is, should she get out? And I mean, you just don't know. But I just wanted to. So in the video I'm going to post tomorrow on Roth conversions, I don't want to post them all at one time. If you look, let me just go. I'm just going to bring this up. Hold on a second. I think it's important. A couple of things I want to go over to. I got too many screens. Damn. All right. I'm just going to go to portfolio. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right. So let me share this. What'd you make up your mind, boys? Oh, my goodness. What? Look at them. Oh, let's see if they start wrestling. Hey, boys. You going to start wrestling? Oh man, I love this. Oh my goodness, I love it. There was at the Self-Reliance Festival. They had this K9 tactical group where they're calling their dogs on to to attack an attacker, and then just like that, say, back or whatever, the dog would like let go and come back. I was like, man, that's freaking fantastic. And of course, Finney and Pablo would not like it's not their fault, it's our fault. All right, so I want to go back to I guess stay focused, man. Stay focused. I got canker sore up here too, by the way. Ugh. So if you guys are wondering why if I'm sounding weird, it's because I got a big old canker sore right here, and it hurts like shit. All right, so what I want to do, we got $100,000. We're gonna go to 2,000. All right, and we're gonna say we have VFINX, S&P 500. We got 100% in there. All right, and we're gonna go to Krakow. Oh, yeah, oh man, I love them. All right, so this will be from 2000 until September 20th. The reason I wanted to do 2000 because in 2001 and 2, the S&P 500 fell 9, 11, and 22% consecutively. And then in the first quarter of 2003, it was down another 10 to 14%. So we're talking big time losses, dudes. Big time losses. All right. And so if you would have had converted 100, no, we'll come back to converting in just a second. If you had 100,000 in there today, it'd be worth, after the 25% decline, it'd still be worth 366,000 today. So if you had $100,000 on 1 January of 2000, it's still worth $366,000 today, even though that's off $100,000 from its high. So 120. You've lost a quarter of your capital, and yet you're still at 366. Hope that makes sense. All right, so our compounded annual growth rate is only 5.88. That's not great. All right, now at the end of February, you were down to $58,000. All right. So the point, why do I say this? Because people who converted here, I mean, you can see it took them to here to actually get back to even. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. But basically, for the next 12 years, there's no value in them converting at all. All right, none whatsoever. And so here you're saying, well, I don't convert, and I'm, here I was down to 58,000. I got to pay taxes on this money right here. But man, I don't want to convert if the market keeps going down, which is exactly what happened in 2001 and 2. All right, you guys got to leave. No, we're not doing that. All right, come on, let's go. All right, actually, what's that, babe? Okay. Right. Come here, baby. Good boy. I was gonna put the weight up. Is that cool? I might go downstairs and just keep barking though. We'll see. Oh, I know. Papa just wants to be with his dad. I know, Pablo. Pablo just wants to be with his dad. But Pablo. All right. All right, there we go. Phew. I can't pay attention when I got dogs barking. Because I just want to give them big hugs. Anyway, so point being is a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, people would say, thanks, babe. If I convert here and the market keeps going down, I mean, that I'm converting into a down market, 100%. But I want to show you something here. Let's say it costed $25,000 to convert in 2000. All right, so it costed, we'll say even a 10% penalty. Let's say you pay taxes with your Roth, with your converted money, $75,000. So we started with 100,000. Now we're paying 25,000 in tax, and we were ending with $75,000 sans taxation once we converted our money. All right, so now we have. So remember, we started with 100. We converted the whole thing. After taxes, only 75,000 went to the Roth, if that makes sense. So by the time February 28th, 2009 rolled around, we were down to $43,000. And by probably March 9th of 2009, we're probably about half of where we were. All right. So we're like, oh, dude, that was horrible. Should never have done that. But from then to here, we were at a 75. We started with 100. We converted. And now we're at 275. All right. So again, I mean, the compound annual growth rate will be the same, 5.88. That doesn't change anything. But the point being is all this is now tax-free. You pay the taxes on this end, never have to pay taxes again on that money. So now the difference is 366 versus 274. I'd rather have 274 tax-free than 366 taxable. if that makes sense. Because one of the things I'm stressing lately a lot is, the big things that as you go into retirement, some of the big obligations, obviously healthcare expense, there's not much you can do about that except get in shape. But debt, mortgage, car loans, student loans, all that stuff, debt and taxes. So you got the big three. It's healthcare expense. Medicare ain't cheap, certainly not free. Uh, Debt payments and taxes. Well, if you eliminate debt and taxes, you're just left with one: healthcare. I can't stress this enough. Why it's so important, in my opinion, to get the tax man behind you. Because the one thing we don't want to do is have taxes built up in here and start pulling money out now. Again, this is after conversion, but just hear me out. The market's going down and I still got to pay tax. So I still have taxes to pay on my distribution. Here, you pay the tax man, you get behind you, you're like, all right, I'm done with it. You see what I'm saying? Here, you're 22 years have gone by. You're not working anymore, man. So now the tax man, and now you still need the money from your portfolio, but the tax man's also getting a chunk of it too. And the tax man doesn't care what your portfolio value is, it just cares what your distribution amount is. Anyway, so a lot of people say, well, I don't want to convert if the market keeps going down. And I said, dude, I get that. But the way I look at it is, where do you think the market is going to be 10 years from now? Very rarely in any 10-year time has the market gone down. I mean, it's happened. I mean, it happened here a couple of times, but not much. And so just like I was in my email or a video I did yesterday to Denise, is like, if you expect the market to go up over the course of 5 to 10 years, then do Roth conversions while the capital is 25% less valuable than what it was, and get it behind you. Now, this is not specific to any individual. So I deal with a lot of clients, and a lot of times I say I don't see any benefit of doing Roth conversions. So if you're one of those clients, don't sit there and say, that's not what you told me. Every situation is different. I've told clients this a million times on Sunday. I said, look, when I say the general population on YouTube, that doesn't mean it's you. All right. Every financial planning position is different, but the general population, I'd be like, man, I should be looking at doing Roth conversions, because the S&P 500 is down 25%. The Russell 2000 is down 30%. The 10-year treasuries are down 16% over the year to date, and the NASDAQ's down 35%. We've never had it like that before, where everything like that is down in one fell swoop. Now, you could make an argument, well, I don't expect the markets to ever go back up again. Well, in that case, get the hell out of the market, man. That don't make, I mean, if that's truly the way you think, then you shouldn't be in the market to begin with. But if you think the market's going to be higher at some point, it seems like a primo opportunity to do Roth conversions right now. In fact, I think I have half my portfolio is still in pre-tax, maybe not half, less than half. But I'm not going to do Roth conversions until next year, because I got a big tax bill waiting. Oh man, I already got a big tax bill yet to pay. And I'm going to scramble to get that money to pay it. It sucks, but I can't add fuel to the fire. But come next year in January, I'm going to convert the rest of my portfolio over. Now, the market might be even lower at that point, but then I'll be done. Everything will be in tax-free money. Not only will it be in tax-free money, but when I pull money out, even before I'm 59 and a half, the only thing I have to worry about is a 10% penalty on gains. Well, actually, I can't remember. Conversions, I can't remember. But I think it's just on gains. But if I'm wrong on that, I just can't remember. I have to look. But either way, the only thing I have to worry about is I don't have to pay taxes on my principal anymore, because I already paid tax on that when I did the conversion. But I would have to pay a penalty on 10% penalty, because I think it is on the entirety, not just the gains. I think it is on the entirety. I would have to take a 10% penalty on any money I take out, and then income tax, obviously, on any gains I have. I'll take that, dude. I'll be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? So my taxes are behind me, and you want to pay the taxes. You want to put them behind you while you have the money to pay that tax, if that makes sense. And you can spreadsheet this till you're blue in the face. I don't know why people do that. I mean, because spreadsheets anything could change 2 seconds flat. But the point being is, when you have the abundance of income from your job or whatever, or your YouTube channel, abundance of income, chuckle, but I have more income now than I would expect to have in 10 years. You pay the tax when you got the income in abundance. That way you can put it behind you. Hope that makes sense. And especially when the markets are giving you lemons, man, freaking make lemonade juice. Again, 10-year Treasury is down 16% year to date. S&P 500 is down 25%. Russell 2000 is down like 30%. NASDAQ's down 35%. Not quite at full capitulation territory yet, but I do believe the market is going to go up tomorrow. And I think that might be a dead cat bounce or might be the, I don't know. I don't know. But again, you don't usually get, this is what's interesting over the last 2 cycles of bear markets. Usually don't happen this fast, this violently. It's weird, man. It's really, I mean, we're talking, in what, 8 months' time, we're talking 35% down on the NASDAQ. That's, you don't get that kind of violence in the market very often. Doesn't happen that quick. Same thing in March of 2020, February basically the February massacre of 2020 to March 20th of 2020, 35, I think it's 35% in 35 days or 33%, 30, I can't remember. But anyways, it was basically a third of your capital was gone in less than basically just a month, which you don't see that very often, man. Anyway, point being is when that when that level of violence happens that quickly, that just, in my opinion, means a capitulation is coming. And I could absolutely be wrong. We could go down another 50%. I have no clue. But don't forget, from again 1 January of 2000 to basically the end of March of 2003, 2001 and 2, 3 years and 3 months, the market was just a steady drumbeat down, down, down. 1st of October 2007 to March 9th of 2009. So that's basically 18 months of just a steady drumbeat down, down, down. And this is before my time, but 1973 and 1974 is 2 years of 45% decline, and that's not even factoring inflation. And then of course the Great Depression, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it in terms of modern era. And the point being is, generally speaking, bear markets, they take a lot longer, and then it takes a lot longer to come back to even. But lately, the incredible volatility that happens fast. I don't know what this one will be, but I anticipate the market's going up tomorrow. I don't know if that's the end of the bear market. I don't know. My inclination is once the Fed stops raising, it'll be gangbusters, and I just don't think the Fed's gonna be raising anymore. I don't. I mean, they could. I don't know. Look what happened in England now with Bank of England. They're like, oh, we made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And all these people in zero hedge, like, the pension market was like that close from going bankrupt. Everybody losing their pensions. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I don't. Who knows? I just know certain websites, zero hedge, for instance, are always focused on the negativity. And you just got to take that with a grain of salt. You're like, yeah, maybe, but I don't think the Bank of England was lowering solely because pension funds are about to collapse. I just don't believe that. Now it could be. I don't know. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, they lowered, or they stopped the raising because the blood was there so thoroughly. They're like, we got to stop this. We got inflation is not the big concern anymore, and I just find that silly, but it doesn't make anyway. So this, yeah, I saw the Packers, man. What the hell was the Packers doing? Eric, right? Yeah. Well, why you got 3rd and 8 at the Pats, and I was going for the Packers today, by the way. Bill Belichick, I don't like him anymore. I don't like his play calling sucks. Let's just put it this way. If it wasn't for Brady, no one would know who Bill Belichick was. No one knew Bill Belichick at the Jets. No one knew Bill Belichick at the Browns. No one knew Bill Belichick until Tom Brady came around. That's all there is to it. So Tom Brady kicks ass. Bill Belichick does not. Anyway, the point being is, yes, Bill Belichick was a good defensive coordinator with the New York Giants. I get all that. But Bill Belichick can kiss my big fat behind. Anyway, he's not a genius, this guy. But anyway, what the hell was the Packers doing? They had 3rd and 8, like 3 minutes left in the game. And they're at the Pats 42 or something like that, or it was just outside field goal range. And they throw deep in the end zone, which was a catch, by the way. Since when does a freaking ground can't cause a fumble, but the ground can cause an incomplete pass because the receiver doesn't make a football move? Yeah, because he's laying out. How the hell is he supposed to make a football move when he's laying out? He brings the ball in, hits the ground, and it releases. He had both feet on the ground. But I was like, why are you even doing that? is a low percentage play when you have 3rd and 8. You're inside the Patriots freaking zone 50. Why would you not do horrible? The NFL coaches like the worst play calling ever. And the Packers were able to luck out and get and win in overtime. But I was like, dude, you should have not done that. You should all you needed was about 5 yards. Get a 5-yard on a screen pass, kick the field goal, win. You got Mason Crosby as your kicker, dude. Crazy. And then if you still think it's too far out, then you could punt it, but that's a low percentage play. Anyway, that's Packers ball. Brady's on the field right now. Matt, my daughter just said he was taking the game off because he had surgery or some kind of Botox or something like that. Brady's got hair plugs. That's what my Charlotte said, that Brady got hair plugs. I'm like, what is Brady and what's her name still married? Yeah, Citibank and Kiss. Robert Rubin, he used to be like bigwig at Citigroup and became Treasury Secretary under Clinton. All these guys are criminals. Is all there is to it. Criminals. The Bills, Bruce. The Bills apparently they came back from behind to take a W. I hate seeing the Eagles win. I hate the Eagles. Always have. Always will. The Commanders. I'm calling the Redskins. All right. Let's see. The market has never bottomed while the Fed raises. The market has never bottomed while the Fed raises rates. What do you mean, man? So you're saying while the Fed is raising that? Oh, I think what he's saying is while the Fed still raises, the market is still. I don't know, doesn't make any sense to me. While the Fed is still raising rates, the market's still going down. They don't bottom until they stop. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. I'm making Cubano sliders, and listen, right on. Time to convert your money to firewood and food. All right. So one thing I just want to. Hey, what's up, Mike? Jill says, "Look, it's hard for me to justify doing Roth conversions for single people. I don't. But because there's no, from a pure standpoint of money now versus money later, it's hard for me to justify that. But from a pure standpoint of, man, it's nice to have the tax man behind me. There's something to be said about that for sure. And this is where I, dialogue with the clients all the time. I was like, I don't see the benefit here, man. In terms of the widow's tax trap, in terms of if you're single, there's not much of a benefit other than the satisfaction of knowing the IRS is in your rear view mirror. In that case, there's a benefit, but I can't spreadsheet that, and no one can. All right, so I want to talk about when I was at the Self-Reliance Festival. And I think I talked about my video I did earlier today. There are a number. These are basically modern day hippies that happen to come from the right of it, the right, libertarian right, actually, which is pretty cool by me. I'm a big fan. But there is this perpetual fear among people on the right in the libertarian movement that the government's going to take our guns, that the government's going to steal our tomato plants, the government's going to shut down the grid. And it bores me. Anyway, so a couple guys like, oh, I don't want to have any money in the bank because the government's going to deny my ability to go in the bank and take money out. It happened in Argentina. It's happened, I guess, but okay. Anyway, so a couple of people asked some questions on this one guy's presenting, and he did a good job. He's like, okay, what are you going to, I just don't get it, man. I don't get this fear. The government, we need lead and what do they say? Gold and lead. I'm just like, no, the point about gold is the whole point about gold, the gold coinage. It's not an investment. For heaven's sake, can we stop this gold as an investment? Everyone's asked about gold. Some people ask about Bitcoin, which I just chuckle at. But most people, a lot of people, not to me, I wasn't presenting, but people ask about gold. They were asking about, I can't remember. But anyway, cashing out their 401k, paying the taxes and all that to buy some land. I don't have any, the end of itself, that doesn't bother me. But the whole point about cashing out everything and buying gold inside of these Roth IRAs with gold, if you don't have possession of it, you don't own it. The reason you buy gold is not to invest. It is for the commies are coming. I need a way to barter to get me to safety. That's it. That's the only reason you buy gold. There's no other reason. It's not a store value, none of this stuff. You buy gold as a bartering technique so you can get the hell out of Dodge when the commies come. No other thing. There's no other reason. So if you buy gold inside a Roth IRA with gold bullion that's sitting in freaking Fort Knox, and now the freaking Biden says, I'm sending the DOJ to your house, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get my gold so I can get the hell out of Dodge. Well, good luck with that. It's freaking stupid stuff, man. That drives me up the wall. You buy gold as an insurance policy against future decline. And I don't expect future decline, but I still have some gold just in case, because I've told you stories about having clients who've had to rely on gold, and I got no problem with it. But you don't buy it as an investment. No, gold is not an investment. Gold is not a hedge against inflation. I know, but an ounce of gold could buy me could buy me a suit, a tailored suit 100 years ago. Now an ounce of gold could buy me a tailored suit. Okay, if you want to do that's fine. I don't care. But you buy gold not for any of that crap. You buy gold as your last chance to get the hell out of Dodge and use that as a currency, essentially. That's it. That's it. Should you cash out your 401k, pay the 10% penalty, and go buy some farmland? That's another thing people are saying. Yeah, if you're going to live there, but if you're just buying it as a bug out location, no, that's freaking. Now, this guy would kind of argue. The guy was giving a presentation, and he used to be a finance guy at a big, Fortune 50 company or something like that. He was kind of saying the only time I take on debt is to acquire more land. I don't even know if I'd do that then, but if I ever had to take on debt, it'd be to acquire more land. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I don't think that makes sense. I think the only time you take on debt is when everything else you're just desperate. You borrow against your home equity line of credit or something like that. But if I'm sitting here in North Georgia, North Fulton County, I want to buy some land in Eastern Tennessee, so I have cash out my 401k, pay the penalty on it, and just have this land up there. What good does that do me? Doesn't do me any good, man. There's no place to live. Am I going to move? If you're going to move up there, it's fine. But are you still working here in North Fulton County, Georgia? I don't know. That just seems absurd to me. I'm going to take all my money out of the bank and basically put it in a fireproof box in my garage. Okay, the idea that the banks are going to deny your ability to have access to your funds. The government doesn't do that. Your local bank might, but the government just wants an SAR, suspicious activity report, and you fill that out and you get on a list, and you go on your merry way. Hate to say it, my friends, we're all on a list anyway. It's just no two ways around that. There's no one not on a list. If they want you bad enough, I mean, look what they did to Randy Weaver, and the list it goes on and on and on. How many people got set up by the government, local government, your local sheriff's deputies, planting stuff. It's not the indictment against the police, not at all. But if they want to get you, they're gonna get you, man. There's nothing you can do about it. They can put anything they want on your phone, and if they want to get you, they can get you. Thus, this whole worry about, oh my goodness, and then like I'm gonna get this. This guy was saying, I chuckled because it was so true. I have this big loud generator. I have all the food, and that way I'll be protected. Well, if your neighbors are starving and electricity is out, you don't think they're not going to hear your generator running from miles away? Come on. And if they don't have electricity and you got lights in your house, you don't think the people are not going to say, hey, that's a target? I mean, come on, man. Just, I don't know, the collapses, tornadoes, hurricanes, you know what I'm saying? Oh, then EMPs. Oh, my goodness. I could not believe how much people worried about electromagnetic pulses. I'm like, oh, my goodness. The Carrington event, I'm just not going to go into it here because it just bores me to death. But why was there no notice of the Carrington event basically until the early 2000s? There's a little bit in 1990. There's like a couple articles about the Carrington event. Nothing anyone would recognize, would take heed of, though. But there's a couple. It wasn't until about 2003 when suddenly the Carrington event exploded, and then of course they did the video, the movie on it, and then the 1 second after. There's no Carrington event at all. If anything, was what's the guy's name? Young was this guy right here. The whole idea of this Carrington event is so freaking stupid, and I cannot believe people fall for this. The EMP, electromagnetic pulse. The Chinese are going to nuke us, put a nuke over our head, or North Korea, and we'll have no grid. The solar flares, and like let me just bear me just a second. Look, and you guys can. I mean, people can be fearful if they want. I don't care. You got to do what you got to do. This guy's name was Charles Augustus Young. So he had he observed a solar flare on 3 August 1872 and noticed it coincided with a magnetic storm on Earth. All right. No one had heard of Carrington in terms of solar flare in Carrington before that. No one did. And he actually drew this guy, Professor Young, whatever his name was, actually had drawn what he saw on the sun about the amazing increase in the sun's activity. But no one, he was a professor of math at the Western Reserve, now known as Case Western Reserve. He served in the Civil War. He became a professor. All right, gotcha. He died of pneumonia in Hanover, New Hampshire in 1908. But anyway, the point being is they all say, well, the Carrington event happened, and it was fried, all these telegrams, all stuff. No one talks about that. You look at newspapers.com, you can look at old encyclopedias. There's nothing. It's a big fat goose egg. No one talks about it until a couple articles in 1990, and that is it until 2003. And the reason they talk about 2003 is because NASA, or some, I think it was NASA, NOAA or NASA, maybe it was NASA, maybe it was I can't remember. One of these agencies was getting their budget cuts, and the people who were affected by that, these solar flare scientists, met at the University of Michigan to discuss it. And of course, they raised the ruckus by scaring the hell out of people about the Carrington event. Crazy. Anyways, but look, worry about it if you want. I would much rather you worry about hurricanes, about tornadoes. There's a lot more to worry about. Did I say tomatoes or tornadoes? Than the Carrington event. A lot more to worry about Joe Biden taking your guns. A lot more to worry about than freaking the bank not giving you your money. The big thing you should be worried about is your debt levels and your health, frankly. Your health is number one. Look, I'm starting tomorrow. I'm going on a low carb diet. Dora told Charlotte we're both I need to lose about 10 to 15. When Nicole Sauce, who's the kind of creator of all this, who I like, when she was going around in Tennessee, they got this, get crap done, or I can't remember, meeting. It's almost like a barn raising event for various, the Tennessee free-minded kind of people, libertarian hippie types, conservatives. But anyway, and apparently they were talking about a month ago or 2 months ago or something like that, and they're saying, look, when the self-reliance festival comes in, we all got to lose some weight, because they're all just like, oh man. And so they went around and said, I lost 15, I lost 30, I lost 25. I said, man, I gotta lose a few on my belly. So that's I'm going on low carb. Got to go health wise. I know, I don't know if I'll go on low carb forever. I don't know. It's kind of like people say, oh, you're never going to drink again. I don't know if I'm ever going to drink again. I'm just not drinking now. And I don't anticipate drinking tomorrow, but one day at a time is what we say in AA. So if you're going to go on a weight loss diet, just one day at a time, one day at a time. Just don't drink or eat crap right now. Worry about tomorrow. All right. So Marie says too many new regulations. Federal regulations on business are great for the S&P 500 because it eliminates competition. It creates monopolies. Monopolies, man. Why do you think Amazon, Walmart, they all want they love ESG. They love environmental crap. They love wage controls. I mean, not wage, increasing minimum wages. It eliminates competition, which makes them more of a monopoly. Big business loves big government. That's the fascist state we're living in. And everyone here is fascist. They think jackboot. No, it's government and business cooperating. It used to be government, business, and big labor. In some regards, it is when it comes to big labor from the government, but it's still kind of government. But anyway, it used to be the big three: big labor, big business, big government. Now it's kind of just big business, big government. And anyway, as such, big business owns big government. That's a fact. Big business says we want regulations to help the economy, to help the working poor, blah, blah, blah. All that does is make it harder to compete. for the it makes it it's able to draw the moat around the incumbent business, which makes it more profitable. So uh, I think lumber prices are way down, dude. If you've been waiting, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, brother, because the lumber price is getting killed. This guy says, "Oh, okay. You want to just tell her? Yeah. It's okay. 750-328. 750-328. Thanks, babe. In Georgia, right on. Folic acid for the canker sore. Yeah, it's like right. Oh man, it hurts like itchy. My man TC bought Exxon. When I did, he's still holding. I sold that puppy many long time ago. Just watch it continue to go on. All right, so remember, volatility doesn't mean we've always had volatility. Volatility doesn't mean good or bad. It's just ups and downs. Oh, by the way, and all these people say, I want to. All these people say, buy. When the markets are down, buy. And I always say, with what cash? I never understood that. Buy when the blood's in the streets or whatever it is. Well, I mean, that means you had all this cash on the side. How else are you going to buy unless you're dollar cost averaging in, like most people do when they just save money from their 401 from their payroll? But how do you buy? I've never liked that whole thing. I've always found it silly because it says, "Oh, that means I had a lot of cash outside of the market, thus I was not getting the gains of the market." And look, I don't know any idea what the market is going to do in the future. I have no clue whatsoever. I think the easy pickings are gone now with globalization and all that, and more labor costs, more regulations in terms of the environmental stuff, more higher inputs. The globalization stuff is kind of I think that easy pickings behind it. So I don't expect profits to be as high as before. I still expect them to be profitable. So I think the markets will be well below what they have done over the last 40 years. I think that easy pickings done for globalization, but I still expect them to be profitable. So I'm still buying in every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, buying in, buying in, buying in. That's I think the capital markets work. By and large, better than anything else. Anyway, the point being is I got no money sitting on the side, is waiting to jump in. I mean, and it's like this one guy was saying a couple months ago. I said, when did you get out? Because to have cash on the side, that meant you had to get out. And I was baiting him because I wanted him to say he got out right before the market declined in March 2020. So basically, in February 2020. I wanted him to say that. And then I would have said, and I can't remember what he said. And then I was going to say, when did you get back in? Because you'd have, because now we're talking, your magic man. You got out February 2020, you got back in March 23rd, 2020. No one did that, man. So the only way to buy with blood on the street is because you got out. Well, my man here, Eric from Wisconsin, he said he got out, I think he said in 2008, he never got back in. And that's typical of people. They don't get out, get right back in when there's blood on the street. That's not how it usually works. I guess some people are foreseers, but the vast majority of us aren't. So the idea of buy now, I hate that crap. Oh, I cannot tell you how much I hate that crap. Buy now with what? With cash. Where'd that cash come from? Because you were having all this cash on the side. When did you put the cash on the side? In 2009. Okay, so you missed the greatest run we've ever seen, essentially. Yes, but I'm buying now. Well, the markets are still way higher than they were. Yeah, I hate that crap. It's just so silly. People make such a the investment world is so on YouTube, and it drives up the wall. I got no patience for it. I also got no patience. Let me see what else you guys got to say. I'm in a good mood, man. That's the thing. It's freaking. Did you? Maybe y'all didn't see it yet. It's freaking beautiful out there. It's fall. As the sun's setting, the sun is rising. It's just, oh my goodness. Come back to dogs who love me. My wife loves me. My kids love me. Even my kid Calvin today called me just to chat because he did his PR across country. He was stoked. I was like, wow, because I don't talk much on the phone. I talk for a living. The last thing I want to do is be chatty catty on the phone. But I was talking to Calvin, Liam's out there. We did a football, thing on football, like what teams we're going to pick and stuff. Maddie's here. We're talking Georgia Tech football. I haven't talked to Chloe for a couple of days. I talked to my sister the other day. Talked to my mom the other day. Dude, life is freaking good, man. There's a lot of people out there who are doing great, great things. And just is so focused on the negative. I'm like, Biden's gonna get me, and EMP is gonna get me. I don't know, friggin' Trump. There's a Nazi under my bed. I grow so tired of it. Let me show you something else too. And this is. Let me show you real quick. And go back to. Let's see if I got the right. I don't know. And I love Jesus. Maybe that's why. Maybe when you love Jesus, you don't worry so much. I don't know. I worry about the mortgage, big time. When YouTube strikes me down, like when they did for a week, I was like, oh no, it'll work out or it won't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But why? I mean, just to live in pain. I'm not saying you guys are doing it. That's my frustration. Like, all these people living in panic, not recognizing how good they have it right now. If you can't see how good you have it now, anyway, so let me show what I'm talking about. I want to go to this right here. And this is part of my book, by the way. So I'm giving you, this is an article. I hadn't written it. My man Tupy did. Martin, what's his name here? Martin Tupy. Yeah. Marion Tupy, that's it. Marion Tupy had written this a couple years ago, 2019. I remember reading it then, and I'm going to use it in my book because I think it's incredibly interesting. The cost of eating then versus now. The cost of eating isn't easy to calculate. A declining cost of home appliances, for instance, needs to be juxtaposed with a growing cost of healthcare. In the space of this short op-ed, I want to focus on expense that is intimately tied to the very survival of human beings, the price of food. Throughout the history of our species, people lived in a state of undernourishment. In developed countries today, obesity is a growing problem, and the reason is food is cheaper and crappier than ever. All right. The analysis of the cost of food over the last century begins with retail prices in 1913 to 1919 by the bulletin of the U.S. BLS. Interesting, huh? One second step was to express those nominal prices in terms of hours of human labor. All right. The result, life is good. The time price of our basket, let me just show you what we're talking about here. I think he's got it down here. We got the, one second. I'll show it to you. All right, right here. All right here. The unweighted average. Let me just I gotta show you it'll be easier if you see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you the chart that this guy has. All right, so here, U.S. food prices relative to hourly wages of unskilled laborers, 1919 to 2019. Let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And we got a basket of goods in 1919. The nominal price, the price of that time, for this basket of goods was $11.72. All right. Fast forward to 2019, that same basket of goods costs $132. An inflation rate, I think, of 4%, if memory serves. I did it this morning. I can't remember. All right. So, for instance, a dozen of bananas in 1919 cost 32 cents. A dozen of bananas in 2019 cost $2.16. A dozen of oranges in 1919 cost 53 cents. A dozen of oranges in 2019 cost $10. Whoa, pretty significant. Now, good luck buying a dozen oranges in the wintertime in Portland, Maine, back in 1919, but you can buy them now in Portland, Maine. But be that as it may, you can see all this. So we're like, oh my goodness, look, it was 1172 in 1919. It's 132 now. Thus, the value of the dollar has declined. Oh my goodness. Time price, nominal hourly wage of 25 cents an hour. It would have taken you 46.89 hours of labor to accumulate the money to buy this basket of goods in 1919. It would have taken you over a week in a 40-hour work week. Time price, nominal price divided by nominal hourly wage of 12.70 an hour for unskilled workers. Unskilled. It only takes you 10 hours now. 10 hours to buy that same basket of goods. That's a 78% decrease in the labor to acquire that basket of goods, which meant you had, which meant you had a hell of a lot of time to work to accumulate other things. All right. This isn't even really debatable, but people will debate it because they want to live in fear. I get it. So I want to show you something else here too. I can go to this one. Go ahead. Oh, not that one. Oops. Nope, not that one. There we go. Oh, yeah, right here. My wife made a Philly cheesesteak sandwiches tonight. They were good. All right. U.S. cost of living in wage stagnation, 1979 to 2015. Here's my man Marion Tupy again. How dare he not take this seriously? The purchasing power. How dare he? The question of cost of living in the U.S. is intimately connected to the issue of so-called wage stagnation, which is typically blamed on economic liberalization and trickle-down economics. I just listened to Khan the other day talk about trickle-down economics, and he's like, oh, I was like, dude, you're a freaking idiot, man. Trickle-down economics isn't give money to the rich and they'll spend it on the poor. That's not how it works. Trickle-down economics is reduce the tax burden so people can use their minds to go out there and expand what they want to do and pay and be rewarded for their endeavors. That's all there is to it. There's capitalism pure and simple. It's like, look, we're not going to punish you for being successful. We're going to reward you for taking the risk to be successful. You still pay more in taxes. It's still a progressive tax rate. But why are we going to punish the successful? People aren't familiar with Pippi Longstocking. In fact, I talked about her in my book, which I probably won't be able to find. Oh, right here. Talk about Pippi Longstocking, the lady from who had written Pippi Longstocking. See if I can't find it. It's in my book. You can retire on Social Security. I probably won't be able to find it. Hold on just a second, because I think it's pretty cool. If I can find it. Probably not gonna be able to find it. Well, I'm under pressure. People are saying, Josh, how dare you not? Yeah. Anyway, she was a socialist in Sweden who literally had 102% tax hit. And Ronald Reagan talked about that too. He said, man, I left the Democratic Party when I realized when I was making a movie, it was all for the government. I wasn't getting any money. I wasn't getting anything back from it because the tax rates were so high. Yeah, I guess I don't know where I did. Yeah. All right. Hold on a second. Now I gotta. Even more reasons to be optimistic about retirement. Let's go to that real quick. No, I guess not. All right, so I'm not gonna be able to find it. All right. Anyway, so right here, according to EPI, Economic Policy Institute, a left-wing, far-left think tank, ever since 1979, the vast majority of American workers have seen their hourly wages stagnate or decline. This despite real GDP growing at 149% and net productivity growth of 64%. In short, the potential has existed for ample broad-based wage growth over the last 3.5 decades, but these economic gains bypass the vast majority. True, adjusted for inflation, average hourly earnings of production and non-supervisory employees in the private sector barely changed between 1979 and 2015. So basically, have not moved much higher. All right. I don't think anyone would argue that adjusted for inflation. I hope not. And in October 1979, average hourly workers' earnings stood at 651 or 2120 an hour or 2120 in 2015 hours. So you were making 651 in 1979, the equivalent of 2120 in 2015. All right. Looking at the average hourly earnings, however, ignores at least three important factors. Expansion of non-wage benefits. Yeah, fall in the price of consumer goods and rise in prices of such services as education and healthcare. So let's just take a look. 10-speed bike in 1979, it cost, I can't see what that says, 68, I think, yeah, 68 bucks. 2015, it costs $84. You'd have to work 10 and a half hours of labor to get that 10-speed bike in 1989. In 2015, you could work 4 hours labor. Right here, the one I wanted to point out here was this guy, right here, gas grill. 1979 gas grill cost 90 bucks. 2015, it costs, I think it says 80 bucks. It took you 14 hours, basically 2 days of labor to buy that crappy old gas grill. Takes you 4 hours to buy this one now. This is the one I like right here, though. We didn't have microwave growing up because it costs too much. Look at that. 400 bucks for a microwave. It took you 61 hours of work as a regular, just unskilled laborer, blue collar guy. 2015, it cost 60 bucks. It took you 3 hours of labor. Slow cooker, toaster, whatever that is. Oh, look at TV. We didn't have TV. First TV we had was probably in 1970, probably 1979, 1980. Like a freaking 12-inch Quasar, black and white. Didn't have any buttons. You had to go. You certainly didn't have remote control. You had to go up there and you had turn the thing off. The reason we didn't have a TV because they're freaking expensive. Never mind, it's a stupid box. My parents didn't believe in a stupid box, thankfully. But anyway, 459 bucks for a color TV with a remote control back then. It took you almost 2 weeks of labor to earn that sucker. 2015, what does that say? 90 bucks? Took you 4.3 hours of labor. Never mind the efficiency, how much juice was that using electricity versus now. It's crazy. In recent decades, non-wage benefits have expanded. Today include relocation assistance, medical and prescription drug coverage, vision coverage, retirement benefit plans, group term life, long-term care insurance, legal adoption assistance, child care, vacation, sick paid time off, employee discount programs. It's not easy to put an exact figure on the value of those non-wage benefits, but they could amount to as much as 30, even 40% of workers' earnings. The lion's share of these non-wage benefits is consumed by the dramatic increase in health insurance costs. The fixed costs of health insurance are a much larger percentage of total compensation for lower earners. Yep. Many big ticket items used by a typical American family have decreased in price. Yep. It might be reasonable to conclude that Americans are much better off today than they were in the 1970s, but that'd be too simplistic. The cost of education, healthcare, and housing has risen at a faster pace as total compensation. Education, healthcare, and housing. Why? Well, housing today are larger. I would not say healthcare is better. I'd say the government is more involved in it. And education, we know for a fact, isn't better. It might be more high tech, but I would say the reason, anytime government gets a stinking mitts involved, and you can even say housing with regulation. High degree of academic consensus that housing price inflation is driven by zoning laws. Exactly. Yep. No such consensus exists in the rise of education and healthcare. Yeah, it does. Anyway, the point being is the idea that the value of the dollar has declined in purchasing power is blatantly just silly in of itself. And I did a video, I just posted it earlier today. Can we attribute that to the Federal Reserve Board in creation? I don't know. I just know at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve came out in 1913, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the expansion of the monetary supply, and then you see an expansion of lots of different things that are affordable for average Joes anymore that I didn't even have when I was growing up. I'm only 52 years old. I didn't have a TV, never mind a color TV. Certainly no one with a remote control. I didn't have a microwave growing up. You know what I'm saying? None of that crap. We didn't have a dishwasher growing up. None of that crap. We didn't have a clothes dryer. We used the freaking the clothesline. Which so not only did those additions add to our comforts, but also let us do other things with the time that we'd normally spend getting up to turn the remote, getting up to turn the TV, doing your dishes, doing instead of folding your putting your clothes on the clothesline. Now freed up other time for you to do what? Maybe work, earn more money, read a book, or eat a bunch of crap and get fat like we all have. I get it, but man, yeah, this whole thing about we're all inflation, inflation, inflation. Inflation is always and everywhere is an energy thing, 100%, man. Like you can say definition wise, it's the expansion of money to supply. No, no, no. Inflation is always and everywhere the expansion or lack thereof of energy cost. And again, I've said before, my freaking here's my bill right here. This is my one right there. My kilowatt hours has gone down 500. What did I say? 500 kilowatt hours in a month. And my electricity bill went up by 150 bucks. Isn't that crazy? Yep. $500 more. 500 kilowatt hours consumed less than last September. Electricity bill $150 more than last September. Now, that's inflation. Nothing to do with monetary supply. It has to do with the freaking idiots, the Green New Deal, and what the war they're trying to start in Ukraine. I better be careful on that because if I don't say something right, the YouTube could come after me. All right. Is there a special Fed meeting Monday? We'll see. I think at the end of the day, man. So this lastly, and then we'll see what you guys want to talk about. I think this guy's name is Freestetter. I think that's what his name was. Freestetter or something like that. Freestetter. Let me see. Freestetter. Is that what it was? Hold on just a second. That's not it. I can't remember the name of the real. I can't remember the name of this guy's. Yeah, I can't remember. I could have sworn it said Freestetter. Let me just see real quick. Hold on a sec, because he said something I thought was fantastic. Hold on just a second, amigos. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, the point being was what this guy said I thought was pretty interesting because you want to fight the man, use cash. Use cash. Think of all the credit card transactions that you do every time you swipe. Somebody's getting paid from those swipes, and that someone is Visa and MasterCard. And let's just go to Visa website. I'm just curious. Let's see what Visa.com is up to talk about here today. And by the way, I don't want to work on a farm. As FYI, I have no interest at all in raising cows. I probably don't even have any interest in raising chickens, maybe rabbits or something. But I got no desire whatsoever to be a farmer. None. I'm too lazy for that, and I don't have the skill set or the patience, frankly. But some people do. And a lot of these, homesteaders want to do that. I don't. I don't know if I want to live in suburbia anymore, but some place without an HOA is what I like. But anyway, the point being is just because you go to these things doesn't mean you want to live on a farm. There's other ways to stick it to the man without being a farmer. Anyway, so let's see what Visa is all about here today. Let's look at their webpage. Because remember, every time you swipe, you're giving these guys money. Every single time. All right. So they advertise a hell of a lot, Visa does. Well, how do they advertise? How they advertise with your money, man. What we stand for. Okay, let's see what we stand for. Committed to driving sustainable commerce. Yes, I'm sure they do. ESG, social, inclusion and diversity. Let's see here. All right. I'm surprised even got a white guy in their thing. Who'd have thought? Because white guys, who knew? Let's see what we stand for. Leading by example. Let's see what they do. All right. We use the power. Okay, there we go. 90% of businesses are SMEs, small medium business. Okay. Uh, our mission to make the world a better place, sustainable efforts, equality in the workplace. Yes, they are. Okay. Doing more for sustainability, diversity, inclusion. 14 million raised by, we know where these guys are coming from, man. I mean, come on. You know what? I know it. It's we don't want to support firms that don't like you, if that makes sense. Use cash, man. Use cash. Let's look at MasterCard. MasterCard.com. Let's see what MasterCard.com is up to. I'm sure they're up to great stuff too. So we got Monopoly, Visa, MasterCard. I'm just gonna set their stupid cookies. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Be digital ready. Buy now. Yeah, we don't want buy now, pay later. Let's not do that anymore. Look, I get it. I mean, I'm who we are. I'm sure they got to have a diversity ESG thing in here, right? Let's see. Let's see who we are for old MasterCard, shall we? And if you work for these companies, I'm not bashing you. I work for USA, and they went crazy too. I mean, they went loony. Investing what matters. We believe in committing our time, energy, who we serve. Remember, because both these companies don't want guns to be. They don't want you to be able to buy a firearm with a credit card. Diversity inclusion. Let's see the corporate philanthropy. Let's just take a look here. Let's see. All right. Transforming lives. Well, junior achievement's pretty good. All right, that's good. Hey, all right. I got no qualm with that. It looks pretty good so far. So junior achievement, STEM, supporting entrepreneurs, whatever. Look, I don't like these guys, but at least they're not so far going in your face with it. I guarantee they are though, but at least right there, they're not in your face too much with it so far. That's good. Let's just go back. But we know they're all up to no good. I mean, these big corporations are up to no good. They don't like you. They don't like me. They certainly don't want. They want you heavy in debt. Um, purpose manifesto. Let's read there. Anytime they say manifesto, that shouldn't make you scared. Stop sharing. Let's see what their purpose manifesto. All right, let's see what we got here. We grow trust. Well, whatever. Yeah, so they weren't as bad as Visa, but I only just tapped the surface, I'm sure. So one of the things you can do is just pay cash for stuff, man. It keeps you out of debt, all right? So that way you don't have to take on interest. Keeps you from paying for these clowns. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I just think we got to start doing that. To just pay cash. I'm gonna try more and more. I got to convince the old lady there to do the same, but I got to try more and more because these companies are evil, man. They don't want anything to look. They hate you. And as such, why support companies that hate you? Why? Now that doesn't mean you're going to get rid of them outright. I mean, how do you? It's easy to swipe. I guarantee it is. But if you can avoid that in some regard, do it. Go buy from your local business person. Even if they're franchised, but generally speaking, go buy to a local guy as opposed to the big corporations when you can. Look, I get the convenience. I get all this. I mean, hell, I was in Walmart yesterday. I bought a chair for $20. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those little flap up chairs. You can't beat that, but try not to do that. If you do that, pay cash. Just lots of things. That's what I liked about it. He's like, dude, there's ways to beat the beast within the beast. That's pretty good. All right, what do you guys? What's on your mind? Let's skip down to the very bottom here. Oh, hi, Braver Cage. Oh, hi. I've been using my Visa, my credit unit works for me attached to my checking. I'm not sure if debit cards have the fee. I don't know. Yeah, rabbits. Rabbits seem like a pretty low. Chickens look like pretty low key too, but low key way to raise a meat animal. Yeah, I imagine, Denise, if you haven't used your credit card, they'll lower your credit limits. I could see that, absolutely. That's why I get a home equity line of credit, though. I mean, I know they could theoretically lower it, like they did in 2008, but Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't have any. I think the digital dollar is coming. I just think it's gonna be a long time coming for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the issue. So, but I mean, the point being is, until that happens, I mean, just because that most likely is going to happen, I mean, that doesn't mean okay. So so what? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think they can't track you now? I control my energy costs with solar panels, a propane generator that takes blue rhino tanks. There you go. A battery inverter charge control, something like a jack. About to cut the cord, a jackery. He's got his propane generator. Well, okay. So how you heating your house? How you going to heat your house, man? Cash 100%. I think the price of vehicles have gone down, right? One breeding pair of rabbits provide approximately the same amount of meat as a whole steer in 1 year. Look at that. That's good stuff on. Right on. Yeah, that my man Nick Ferguson was going to present, and then he had a family emergency. He lives in Louisiana, so he was unable. I was like, oh man, because I want to see his presentation on breeding meat rabbits, but he wasn't able to come. Are rabbit meat, would that be considered a white or a red meat? Any idea? Um, I started raising deer, Harry. Paying all cash. Look at that. Right on. Have a new roof put on. Paying all cash. Yeah, just Alliant Federal Credit Union, but remember they're still paying fees to Visa, Mastercard. Just keep that in the back of my look. I'm still going to use Rabbit's Red Meat. All right, Denise, right on. I'm still going to use it. It's very convenient. You know, if you buy online, you know what are you going to do? But I'm just saying, you know, if you make a conscious effort to try not to use a Visa and use cash, uh, you're you know, it's not much, but any dent you can make to the enemy is a good thing. And these guys don't like us. You know what I'm saying? Dark meat, but Denise says is dark and red synonymous? I don't know. I mean, because you got dark chicken meat, and that wouldn't be called red meat. How dare you have no worries? How dare you? Don't you know other people are worried? Don't you want to think about your neighbor? They're worried. Dude, I get it. Credit. Look, I'm not saying credit cards aren't convenient. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we all said, let's try to reduce using our credit cards a little bit, that's a good thing. It's a win. Small, but it's a win nonetheless. Just a little bit. Kind of like my man was saying, you know, try to reduce like big pharma. You know, I mean, I know we all look, I take Lexapro. I like Lexapro. I think it works for me. Maybe try though, use less pharmaceuticals if we can. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's just it's there's no we're not you're not going to eliminate the bees, but to try to support them less while they're out to do bad things in your community is a good thing. I'm not, and this is not Pollyannish. We're all going to go to Walmart. We're all going to use Visa. We're all going to use Big Pharma, but to try to use them less. Just think about it. Is there a way I can do this without using the companies that hate me? If there is, do it. And again, I don't have all the answers. I'm just saying, just try to get in a habit of cash. Try to get a habit of is there medicinal things, herbs that you can use instead of comfrey, lantana. A lot of this stuff is wonderful for you, man. There's lots of recipes for various things you can use. Easy to grow. I mean, hell, rosemary grows just like that. I mean, look, rosemary is perennial. Anything that you can do to eliminate the need for the beast, because the beast is evil, and the beast is debt based. It's just a fact. And is the beast a thing? Yeah, it's kind of like the blob. It's a debt based blob. It wants you in debt to control you. And I'm still in debt. I still am, and I still invest in the capital markets. I guarantee I own a little bit of Visa, Mastercard in my Wellington fund in my VTI. But I'm but I want to eliminate as much as I can their ability to do me wrong. And again, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be completely, but any little bit is going to help for sure. Now, I don't want to be, again, Pollyannish, like, oh, if I turn the vampire electricity that these people say, if you unplug your cable box, I mean, I get all that. I don't want to be like that. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, another thing about using cash, it doesn't accumulate debt. I mean, that's just a fact. So anyway, Credit card points. I don't care for legislation. Free travel is the best. I don't care for legislation. Free travel, but it's not free. That's the point. It's not. They're not just giving it to you because they love you. They're making the money off your transactions. Yeah, what is this hard? I don't get it. Why? It's not free. Someone's paying something for it. You think the credit card company's like, "Hey, Eric, here's some money for free. Thanks." No, there's a fee that is being accumulated. I don't get it. I don't. I mean, look, I don't get how this people can't see this. Every time you swipe, there's a fee, 2 to 3%. I know for a fact. So when I was in banking, we used to do these called merchant services, and we go to small businesses. We say we'd like to set up a credit card processor in there, and the credit card processor, us, would take a fee, and we send some to Visa, Mastercard, and we keep the rest. Who's paying for that? Well, you ultimately were paying for it because you were paying the price for the credit card processing. So the business would charge you 50 cents for a pack of gum, or they charge you 55 cents if you did a credit card because of fee. Someone's paying for that. It's you. Yeah, I don't know what the legislation referring to is. I don't know what that is. Yeah, 100%. I'm confused. What? I don't know anything about legislation on that. Generally speaking, I don't want more legislation. I have no idea what you're talking about there. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you're not getting free travel. You're paying for it by the processing fees. Yeah, 100%. A percentage of those percent, 100%. I get it. Scroll. Yeah, yeah. You're right about those. If everyone boycott, yeah, I don't want. We're not going to. I mean, I see. I mean, that's the thing. It's like this is where the devil is in the details. Does big pharma serve a purpose? Yes, yes, of course they do. Like I said, I take Lexapro. Do I want big pharma controlling my life? No. Is there a way we can use the benefits of big pharma, big Google, big friggin' Visa without being? I mean, look, I'm not this thing. You're not going to get off the system. The system. Hell, I did a video or just posted it today, but I support the Federal Reserve Board. The system in and of itself is the best system mankind has ever developed. I don't think there's any. I mean, I guess people could disagree. It doesn't mean it's great, but I'm just trying to say at the end of the day, let's not reward bad behavior by engaging in that behavior if we can avoid it. I guess that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. How dare you? How dare you, semi trailer technician, sleep 8 hours a day and not take on debt? How dare you? Oh, we talked about too. Like, there's lots of good things happen too, like raw milk. You can buy that in Maine. You can't take it over state lines and stuff, but Paula Page signed that where you can go to a farmer who does raw milk. Because pasteurization, we all know is silly, but you can buy raw milk. And you can take it. You can drink it. Now they can't produce that in mass, but you can go to their farm and buy it. You can do it here in Georgia. I mean, there's lots of things that are going on. They're good. I'm actually very interested in this hemp. The hemp stuff. I went to a class on hemp, and that was not hemp to smoke. Not that. I mean, literally, I was ignorant of hemp. I was like, there's hippy dippy people. I said, oh God, I don't want to hear another thing about hemp. I was surprised at what can be done with hemp, the industrialization of it, building and stuff. I was like, whoa, I did not know any of that. It's actually pretty cool. I haven't dived into it yet, but I said that's pretty cool. And I like the people I thought were hippy dippies. Like they weren't. They're pretty capitalist oriented. Not pretty. They're very capitalist oriented. But they said there is a benefit here of hemp that we need. We on the freedom side of things, not the commie left. Their stupid carbon credits and whatnot. We need to know about because we can use hemp too because there is a very valuable thing for this for building and things like that. It was interesting. So this guy has built a bunch of hemp houses all over the world essentially. Because the problem that we have in America is that it's like think about like a wood chipper essentially. When you got your trees and you put in a wood chipper. We don't have anything like that for hemp in terms of they really got to grind it up very, very thoroughly because the stuff that's in there, I think you call it curd. That's what you do. You add some lime to it, some water, something else. You add the hemp curd, which is from the stalk, the lime, some water, and there's something else you add to it. It works almost like a slow sealing concrete, but actually breathe. It's freaking fascinating as can be. I love it. I say that's pretty cool, man. And because it breathes, it's absorbent, and yet it also is very has like a high R level resistance in terms of your. Oh, hold on just a second. You want to come? You can come in. There you go. In terms of like insulation, has a high R level. It's interesting. And again, I just I don't know, but hey. But anyway, point being was it's like, man, there's no manufacturers of the machines in which the grinding up into this curd. I think is what we call it, curd. And he said well, those are all in China, and so basically these machines cost a lot of money. And until we get those machines here, this will be it's going to be hard for this to happen. But basically, what it was is there wasn't enough farmers growing hemp, so they didn't really need the machines. They had a few, and that's all they needed. But now more and more farmers are getting away from monoculture growing, and they're growing hemp. These huge stars like a bamboo. I don't know in this. He's like there's like bush hemp. I think that's for the smokers, and then there's like the bamboo hemp. He goes, but now we got more and more farmers using that, growing it, and basically what happens is they're taking the stalks and they want it to be ground to this thing so they can use it. Unfortunately, you got to send that overseas, get it ground, and send it back. It's interesting. I'm very much looking forward to learning more about that. And it's funny because the guy who's presenting and the lady who's presenting, they both looked exactly what you think. Hippy dippy hemp people. And when they started talking, it's like, oh no, but it wasn't like that. They're capitalist. It was awesome. I freaking loved it, man. I love a hippie capitalist. Is there anything better than a hippie capitalist? Their answer is no. Nothing better than a hippie capitalist, because they're freaking like, look, I'm here to make money by providing a good that people need and can use. I love it, dude. It's freaking fantastic. And I don't need the government up my. So this guy's trying to build one in San Jose, I think he said. San Jose in California. He goes, dude, I'll never build another house again in San Jose, because he said the regulations, the permit process is insane. He goes, I will never, ever go back to California. The permitting process is insane. And thus, why would the price of housing go up? Because it costs so much to build a house. You guys want to see something cute? That's not the best thing ever. I don't know what it is. Oops. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh. I can watch this all day long. Let's see how Papa does. I can watch this all day long. Oh man, they were still watching. Yeah. Oh, man. Does that not make you want to cry? Because it's so flippin' cute. Oh, I love you guys. Now let's say a quick prayer. Because man, oh Heavenly Father, I just thank you for your bounty. Oh man, you've provided us with such a beautiful world. I pray for those who can't see the beauty of your divine creation. I pray for them, Lord. There's so much beauty around. People just open their eyes to see with it, to breathe the fresh air of the wonders that you have given us with your creation, with your animals, with human beings, with just nature as a whole. I thank you, Lord. I don't know why you did it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. So, boy, let's watch a little bit more. Then we'll call it a night. It's like what's it called? UFC or mixed martial arts. Let's get closer. We can. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, It's just too cute. Oh, I love it. All right. So last call. Anything else? Yeah, 100%. So what happened? Well, we know what happened. It's the big ag. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like the nuclear stuff, man. It's like big oil, and I mean, all these guys they regulate it out of existence essentially. Just like with hemp, it's crazy. Oh, but everyone's addicted to cocaine back then, and marijuana, no one was. I mean, I'm sure there were some people, but I haven't paid any attention to it, to be honest with you, about Paul. I just hope he wins because I like him better than stupid Janet Mills. But I haven't seen it. I don't know. I mean, I at the end of the day, I'd vote for Paul LePage over pretty much anybody. But in of itself, that doesn't mean he's got a great plan. I don't know what it is. Oh, yeah, that's 100%. I do look at that Greyhound though. That is way cool, man. Harry says Rex is being racist. Why you gotta be racist, Rex? Oh, 100%. Good point, PB. Never have just one dog, man. Like they're still over here wrestling. Still. And they're like Pablo's like, 16 pounds. Finney's like 75 pounds. Pablo's a freaking Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and Finney's a hound and some kind of hound and Rhodesian Ridgeback mix. And and then Paulo puts his butt in Finney's face like he's like boxing him out. See how he's boxing him out? And he attacks. I just watch that all day long. I love it. And Finney's jacked. Pablo's fat, but Finney's like jacked, like he's on steroids. Oh my goodness. That's what he does. Like the Gracie people, whatever that was called, jiu-jitsu, whatever it's called. He wrestles on his back. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh boy, yeah. What I'm saying, Carson, just sleep well. Sleep well. All right, I get out of here, my friends. We'll do the live stream Tuesday afternoon. I'm just tired, man. I've been, on the road a little bit, and I look at my eyes. Look at the bags. I got bags under my eyes. Appreciate y'all being here, man. I can't take the cuteness. I'm gonna get out of here. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you guys. God bless.